these videos with others. We'll be sharing them live. We'll be sharing them for training purposes and marketing purposes. We'll do screenshots and various things with photos and videos from these trainings. So be sure to stay muted if you're not speaking. And also feel free to post comments. If you haven't, play around. If you scroll your mouse, these videos with others. Okay, one moment. Live, we'll be sharing them for training purposes. I tend to do that, so I have two windows open. One is this live window where the Hangout's taking place, and I have the recording area back on YouTube, and I usually get about a couple of minutes into the call, and then I start hearing myself talk on the back end, so I get to stop and push pause over there. So keep yourself muted, and then feel free, though, to, if you scroll your mouse up towards the upper left-hand side of your screen, you will see various little items towards the left. If you're not real familiar with Google Hangouts, you can play around with the various little options. You click on all those little icons and it'll give you various options to take pictures and adjust settings and do fun things. And you will find somewhere an option to, if you don't already see it, a group chat that can open up on the right-hand side. And people can interact, and so you can post questions, and if I see it and it fits in, I'll answer it. You can post anything of value that will help you get what you're wanting. So pay attention to that live chat as well. We get some really valuable insights and questions and things going over there. So just keep your eye on that, and then feel free to participate accordingly. And think of, again, just the questions. If you come up with a great question that would really be of service to you, post it over there, and if I see it and it fits in, I will answer it while we are here on the call. So invite everyone to take a few deep breaths. So just maybe close your eyes, take a few breaths, let go of anything that's been creating tension or stress in your world. Whatever was going on before this, just take a few deep breaths to bring yourself right here fully present to get the most out of this moment. So let's breathe together for a moment. Noticing the tension melt away. Becoming more and more present in each moment. Fully open to receive. And now make some commitments within yourself to be open to learning, open to transforming, open to releasing, open to leaving here a new person, having shifted some issues, having created some powerful breakthroughs, gained some powerful new insights and perspectives, having released anything and everything possible that will free you up to move forward in a more powerful and clear way. So just set some intentions right now to receive as much as possible while that will serve you and serve your progress moving forward, while releasing anything and everything that inhibits your progress and your highest and best good. And while you're doing that, move your body a little bit. Just create some flowing movement, knowing that as you open up space in your body, you open up for new ways of thinking and for the energy to flow and to feel and experience yourself in a new way. So rather than sitting rigid and still, create some flowing movement. When your body flows, your mind flows. I'm feeling myself getting more grounded and present. Basically, the way that I created being late for each of us today was going over on a phone call while I was on a run, and then running my way back several miles, mixing my business and my Ironman training. And so I ran physically miles and miles to get back here and get on in time, and then in my hastiness, half of the technology issues was just me being hasty. User error. I imagine a few of you can relate with that at times. So let me talk a little bit about my vision for this group and why we are here. Why did I create this? Why is this important to me? Why would I take time out of my life to do this, to do free training, to show up in your guys' world, to show up in the world this way? Why am I doing this? And here's why. So for those of you, many of you know me, and maybe many of you don't, but I'm a high-end, very successful coach who has helped many, many people for many, many years. And I've been a coach for longer, like a long, long time, more than a decade. And when I started being a coach back then, nowadays we talk as if it's normal to be a coach or have a coach. Back then I got laughed at a lot. Back then people didn't know what I was talking about. They would say, "Coach, what is that? What do you mean coach? Like you coach sports or something?" Like, no, like I help people kick ass. "Oh, you mean you're a therapist?" I'm like, "No, I'm a coach." So I've been in this game for a very long time, and I went from being a coach who barely knew how to coach to a coach who really didn't dare charge for my services to a coach who charged a little bit for my services to a coach who charged a lot for my services, and over time charged more and more and more because I was able to create bigger and bigger results and make a bigger and bigger impact in people's lives. And because I gained more skill sets and more knowledge and more confidence and more certainty and more abilities and all these things that just kept building on each other and continue to do so. And so if you look at the Limitless Legion, why Limitless Legion? And I posted a video in the forum explaining a little bit about that, about how I came from a background that was challenged. You know, I struggled in my health. I struggled in my relationships. I used to be 260 pounds. I used to have a whole list of health ailments. I used to be so struggling with my eyesight that I couldn't pass the driver's license test at the DMV without cheating. I used to be mostly bald on the back of my head. I still have a slight thinning there, but I've actually regrown hair. And most people wouldn't even know I had ever an issue with balding or thinning hair. You would never know that I have perfect vision now and didn't then. You would never maybe know that I used to be 260 pounds and now I'm hanging tight at a 190 solid, and that I struggled and suffered and failed at every relationship I had ever had in my life, and now I absolutely thrive in my relationships. So if we go back even further, you know, the experiences I've had started at a very young age, having a very challenging childhood, having an alcoholic father who was abusive, having just a load of insecurities and experiences that happened throughout my life that tremendously impacted my confidence and my certainty and my ability to believe in myself and move forward and create greatness. But always in the background, I knew I was meant for something great. And there came a time in my life when I hired a life coach because my life had become such a mess. And as I reluctantly hired this person and received these tremendous liberation and breakthroughs and empowerment and joy and peace and freedom, that there came a time where I knew I had to share that with people. I knew there was no way I could contain that and keep that to myself. And so with much reluctance, I prayed and did a lot of things to gain the courage to begin sharing that with people, but it was very, very challenging. I had voices yelling in my head saying, "You're too old, too fat, too ugly, too stupid, you got too many issues, your childhood was too screwed up, you don't have the credentials, you don't have the authority, you don't have, like, they're going to laugh at you, who the hell are you?" I had so many voices yelling at the top of their lungs in my head, telling me how I couldn't do it and all the reasons why. And I gained some clarity, and I committed, and I kept going and going and going. And what I realized in the end was, I mean, and before this happened, guys, my pain was so great. It was tremendous. And it was so tremendous that I ended up all alone in an apartment with a gun in my throat. And it was all I could do. It was like literally I was a hair trigger away from being done. And so it's awesome that I've now created all this success, and it's awesome that I have these high-paying clients that pay me over $100,000 a year to work with me, who are ecstatic about the results that they get. It's awesome that for 10 years I've been transforming lives, and I've helped people overcome obesity and addiction and eating disorders and addiction to drugs and alcohol and sex and codependency, and save their relationships and save their marriages, and to help people launch and discover their passion and their purpose and launch their successful businesses. And I've taken single mothers who were waitresses making minimum wage. Well, for a waitress, that's like $2 an hour plus tips, to earning $100,000 a month. Literally, single mother who is a waitress who now makes $100,000 to $200,000 a month, and I was the coach that saw that through, walked beside her, and helped her through her shit to get there. This is no joke, people. I've been going at this for a very long time, and my skill sets and my passion for what I do is so deep because of all that I've overcome to get here. I didn't have this shit handed to me by any means. We were as poor as they came, from as dysfunctional as it gets, and all the chaos and all the excuses and all the stories. I could tell you as many victim stories as anybody could, and have as many excuses and justifications why I couldn't have an amazing life. I can stand beside the best of them and make up every excuse that anyone else out there could. And yet I stand here today living a life that is a dream. And so part of my message is that if I can do it, you can do it. And part of my message is that true success doesn't mean you have money. True success doesn't mean you have one successful area in your life. True success for me means my health is absolutely vibrant and thriving. My relationships are passionate and on fire and loaded with skills and abilities and relation that is beyond the traditional relationship. It is something that I relish and I savor and I look forward to. It's not a getting by process. It's passion. It's aligned with my purpose, that all of this serves my purpose. And don't worry, today we will get to the topic of passion, purpose, and profitability. But I want you to understand how all of this ties into that, and how if you're not kicking ass and being the best version of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, if your relationships aren't thriving, your health isn't thriving, your finances aren't thriving, and your spirituality is not thriving, you're not truly successful. And that all the other areas of your life will be drugged down and limited by those other areas. So I'm doing this group because, yeah, I make a lot of money serving a lot of people. But what about the people who can't afford me currently? What about the people who don't know they can afford me? What about the people who are out there who are struggling, who love the message, who know they have a calling to participate in this tribe, but currently they just need something to bridge that gap? So I would be lying if I said I was only doing this for you guys, if I was only doing this for the world. In fact, anyone who sells you anything saying, I'm only doing this for you, is a liar. And even everything that you've believed about how you only do stuff for others is a lie within you. The truth is, only win-win exchanges are principled exchanges. Now, am I asking you guys to pay me for this? No. But is there a win-win exchange for me in all of this? Yes. There's multiple. I get exposure from doing this. I get to bless people's lives from doing this. I get to fulfill my passion and purpose from doing this. I get to spread my message from doing this. There's members amongst us that will gain tremendous value from my free trainings, who will up-level their life and say, if this is what I created from your free training, holy shit, what could I do with your paid stuff? So there will be many ways that I am taking care of myself through this process without asking you for money to do this. So I just want to be clear, I am doing this as a win-win. I'm doing this for you, I'm doing this for the world, and I'm doing this for me. It's a way to give back. It's a way to create value exchange. It's a way, there's so many layers to it. But here's the deal. How many people out there are suffering and struggling? And each of you have different passions and purposes and missions and goals and things that you're here to accomplish. Each of you has greatness within you. Each of you has potential beyond what you can even imagine. And each one of you, and I don't care, I'm talking to everybody in the world. Each one of us was begat by a creator, and like begats like. A plum tree produces plums that have seeds that produce plum trees that produce plums. And the same for apples and pears and peaches. I'm about to sound like an Eminem song. So everything like begats like, and if you were created, then you were created by something. And whatever that is, or whoever that is that created you, is a creator, otherwise you wouldn't have been created. Because like begats like. And if like begats like, and you were created by a creator, that means you are a creator. And if you are a creator and you are not living up to your true creative potential, you are dying inside. You are trapped and contained, and something is grinding inside of you, knowing you have this huge potential, knowing you have something greater, knowing there's something better than going to that cubicle job or the status quo, or struggling trying to do what you're passionate about but not knowing how to make it profitable, or going through feast and famine patterns and never breaking the cycle, and being frustrated as hell knowing there's something greater inside of you but not living up to it. You're actually out of integrity when you're not living up to that. Because to be in integrity, we tend to think of it in integrity as doing what you say you'll do. Yeah, that's one step out of like 52 to be in integrity. And one of those other steps is integrity means to be aligned with one's true nature. Well, if your true nature is infinite, if your true nature is to be a creator, if your true nature is unlimited, truly limitless potential, and you're not aligned with that, you're out of integrity. Take a breath and try that on for a moment. Notice what you notice. So I'm going to go in a little more about, in a moment, I'm going to talk more about passion and purpose and profitability and how to make all of those tie together. But first I want to discuss even further why I do this and why it's important. There's people out there dying every fucking day. There's people committing suicide every day. It's real. It's real as real can be. There's people on this call that I've been a part of assisting to not commit suicide. I've helped dozens upon dozens of people to choose life. There's people out there, 60-something% of people are obese and stuck in a relentless pattern that it's not even about the obesity, it's about the prison that they feel in their own mind and their own body to not live up to their capacity and potential and fulfill their purpose, and they may live this entire life half-assed, status quo at best, and die not having sung their song. There's more than 60% of people, 70% in my county, that are getting divorced out there, that are miserable. There's people dying every day. There's people getting divorced every day. There's people struggling just because they're 60, 70% getting divorced. How many people are staying together and miserable as hell and raising kids, teaching them those same patterns to pass that down the line, creating more war and chaos and destruction for the next generation? The far majority of people are out there not living a life of passion, not living a life of purpose, sacrificing their entire life, living as whores, trading their time and their life for money, feeling violated by life itself and disconnected from who they really are within, from their Creator and from everyone they love in their world. Guys, it's real out there. Suicide, obesity, divorce, struggle, heartache, mediocrity, stuck, trapped. It's insanity. It's absolute insanity. And I'm here to change the world. I'm here to change me and be that change here and be the leader by doing it, being first and foremost. That's why I train for Ironman. That's why I do insane 65-day juice fasting. This is why I do multiple 10-day silent meditation retreats. This is why I spend time with indigenous tribes. This is why I hang out with the most wealthy people in the world. I'm taking myself to the corners of my own inner world, my own inner universe of my spirituality, my physicality, my financial world, my relational world, and surrounding myself with the best of the best and taking myself through the most intense and most rigorous processes to discover the most empowering and liberating things within me so that I can share it with the world, be the change here, and then give it away. I call it giving up. Not giving up in the sense of I give up, giving up in the sense of give away and receive back. Because the nature of all nature is to give and receive, and this infinite giving and receiving. It's a part of why I'm here. It's a part of why we're all here. Every one of you has a passion somewhere in there. Some of you are more connected to it than others. Some of you are disillusioned from it because you've chased it for years and you haven't been able to connect the dots. Some of you have connected with your passion, and some of you know there's something in there, but you don't know what it is. Some of you know what your passion or purpose is overall, but you don't know how to package it. You don't know how to market it. You don't know how to sell it. You don't know how to make it consistently profitable. We're going to address those things moving forward. So, us as groups and members of Limitless Legion are here to connect with our passion and purpose, to commit to expanding to the greatest version of ourselves, and to sharing that with the world, to making the greatest impact we possibly can within ourselves, and then turning around and making the greatest possible impact in the world as a result of that. That as we become more and more liberated and free and alive and happy and fulfilled and prosperous and aligned, that we turn and share that with the world, and that the more we share it, the better place the world becomes, and the more fulfilled we become, and the more blessed we become. And I also want you to get the value and importance of your environment. I'm imagining most of you, if not all of you, have heard people say, and mentors and teachers, trainers say, that your success is a culmination of the people you surround yourself with. So if you take the 5 main people you hang out with most and took their level of success financially and looked at your financial success, you would find that you were the average of their success. So a key part of your success is up-leveling your environment. So congratulations on being here. You're now surrounded by a group of committed learners who are also committed to being the greatest version of themselves and up-leveling their environment. Now, another thing I want you to consider is that one of two things is going to happen moving forward. You're either going to help the people that you love most up level as well, or you are going to end up leaving them behind. Now, think of your loved ones right now. Think of who you love the most and who's most important to you. It may be parents, it may be siblings, it may be a spouse, it may be your children. I see it all the time. People start to up level massively, and then their loved ones don't up level with them, and there's this distance that's created, and it often creates this split because they can no longer relate. So there's twofold blessing for you in assisting those around you to up level with you. One is, it makes your process and journey more easeful. If you've heard me share the parable of like the seed and the two potential, if I took two acorns of equivalent value, both fully equal in all aspects, in capacity and all aspects, and I take one and plant it in my backyard in perfect fertile soil, and I put some automated sprinkler system on to water it consistently, and then I take another one and I pound it down in the crack in the asphalt in my front yard out in the middle of the road. What's going to happen is the one in the backyard is going to grow up to its full potential, and the one in the front yard is probably not going to grow at all. And if for some reason it somehow manages to poke up as a little seedling out of the asphalt, some car is going to drive over it and it's going to wither up and die. So the same is true of you. The good news is you have infinite potential. The bad news is if you're in a shit-ass environment, you're not going anywhere. You're going to spin your wheels your entire life, and you're going to die with your song unsung. Shitty news, guys. Sorry to say it. No, it's not what you want to hear, but it's true. So, a couple of options. Either begin surrounding yourself by as many other positive, successful, outgoing people who have the results that you want. That one's pretty much a must. That's like, I'm going to take myself out of the asphalt and I'm going to somehow get myself up here and put myself in the fertile soil so that I can start thinking differently and having conversations differently and seeing new possibilities and relating with new people and meeting new relationships and new resources and having all these other potentials come into my life. And then number two, in addition to that, that's required. The second piece is optional. It's bring your loved ones with you. Share it with them. So, got a message and got distracted. One moment here. So bring your environment with you. Choose the loved ones that you choose to take with you. Be prepared to leave behind anyone who will not move forward with you. It will be critical to your passion, to your purpose, to accomplishing and fulfilling your mission. If you do not up-level your environment, you will not accomplish it. So be thinking about who are you going to up-level with you and who are you going to end up being required to leave behind. And I'm totally open to you bringing everyone with you. Just be sure that you're sharing your passion, sharing your knowledge, sharing your learning, sharing your resources with them. Okay, so let's talk for a minute about passion and purpose and profits. One of the biggest things you will see out there is starving, when people do start to discover their passion and purpose, is that they become starving artists. People think that this is just normal to be starving artists. Well, it's not. People are not starving artists because that's how life is. People are starving artists because they're not aligning with some certain principles that are required. People, in order for you to take your passion and purpose and have it be profitable, You must have it meet a need in the marketplace that people are willing to pay well to have solved. Pay close attention to what I just said. Don't just take these as words and be like, okay, that was cool. Like, integrate this. If you want your passion and your purpose to be profitable, discover a need in the marketplace, a problem in the marketplace, a problem in people's lives that your passion and purpose solves. That problem is great enough for them. There is enough pain around it for them that they are willing to pay well to have that problem solved. So we've been told, just follow your heart. Well, that won't get you there. It's a start, it's part of the keys, but it's not everything. So follow your heart. Yes, that's part of it. Discover your passion. Everything else will work itself out. Not quite true. Discover your passion. Yes, that's the biggest key to making the most profits, both emotionally, financially, and every other way. Yes, that's key. But if it doesn't intersect with that need in the marketplace, you will be a starving artist. And if you don't have the skill sets and the mindsets necessary to market that effectively, and I don't mean slimy. I don't mean go out inauthentically and do that whole inauthentic thing. A lot of us have been traumatized around marketing and sales because we've had one too many used car salesman lots get us cornered with 3 or 4 or 5 of their dudes hashing at us and cornering us into some deal that we didn't want in the first place and feeling completely violated. And so then we have this resistance to sales. We've seen too many tacky, lack of, campaigns that lack integrity and use all these manipulation skills and tactics and techniques and strategies and shit that turn us off, that make us think marketing and sales are shit. Well, I'm here to tell you, marketing and sales, when done with integrity, when aligned with your passion and purpose, and done with absolute impeccable integrity, are possibly and arguably the most virtuous thing you can possibly do in the world. And here's why. If you have the cure for cancer, but you're unwilling to let the world know that because of your judgment and fear and resistance of rejection or resistance of marketing, the world goes without the cure. If you market it, but you're too scared to have the sales conversation because you're scared that they'll reject you, you're scared that they'll say no and that will reflect in your self-worth, and so you don't have the sales conversations, you can have the cure for cancer and people go on dying, but because you're too chicken shit to have that conversation, to make the enrollment, to value you, to value them, to create that exchange, to ask for money, all the mindsets and things that stop you along that path. So if I were to line out the action items in the process, and you may want to take some notes on this, it's like, first step is discover what you're passionate about. Second step is figure out your messaging and your ideal client, your audience, your branding, and not even in that order and not to a perfectionist state, because most people spend so much time spinning their wheels and you spend a year trying to package your stuff just to discover a year later that it doesn't even meet a need in the marketplace and people don't even respond to it, and then you start all over. So don't get stuck in a perfectionist persona. Just get a basic glimpse of what niche you're in, who you're serving, who your ideal client is, and then toss something out there and see how it goes. And if people respond great to it, awesome. And if they don't, test something else until it sticks. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make on their passion and purpose is to look for the one and only passion and purpose. It's kind of like looking for my one and only true love in all of my life. What about, like, so they won't date because what if this one's not the one? Well, how the hell are you going to find the one if you don't date? And the same thing with your passion and purpose. If you just keep waiting for the exact perfect passion and purpose and message and product and service, you're probably going to wait your entire life stuck in some perfectionist persona and not move forward. But if you'll get out there and just try some things on, test some things. So you just, pick something. So if it's like, you know what, I really love health and nutrition. Cool, start testing some shit in the marketplace and see how people respond to that. And when you see how they respond, if they respond great, cool, keep pushing that. Keep moving forward with that. And if they don't, test something else. So step one, discover your passion. What you would do whether you got paid or not. So to discover your passion, consider this. Well, let me go through the steps and then I'll come back and break them down. So step one, discover your passion. Step two, discover your message. Step three, package that into a product or service that solves a problem people are willing to pay for. Step four, effectively market that or convey the message of the value that you offer to the world, the solution that you are providing to the problem that they're dealing with. Step five, have effective sales conversations to enroll them into your product service program so that they can get that solution and move forward. Step five, deliver. Under promise and over deliver. Rock their world. Create raving fans that will share that with the world and bless and rave about you and automatically bring you new clients. And then repeat that process over and over again. Now, my passion and purpose, it falls in the line of liberating people. It's just me. I want to liberate people as much as possible. Now, in the beginning, my coaching program looked this way, and then this way, and then this way, and then this way. And what I have this year will be different next year. And it'll be different next year, and the next year after that. It's ever evolving. Your passion and purpose is ever evolving. It's not just, I'm going to discover this program and launch it, and I'm going to live happily ever after. It's not like that. Because you're ever evolving. You become a bigger person. It's like the horizon. It's like my next thing is to become this, and it's out on the horizon, and then I get there, and there's still another horizon out there. There's some bigger horizon. There's a next level, a newer experience. So you pick what's realistic for you now, what's possible for you now, what's in your eyesight as amazing for you now, and then you expand into that. And the vision will expand as you go. So again, step one, discover. I'll just rehash these again. Discover what you're passionate about. Step two, clarify your messaging around that. Step three, discover what your packaging, product, or service is. Get it all packaged in some way with appropriate pricing according to, and pricing, when I say appropriate, the issue isn't just in what's this worth in the marketplace, because that's totally relative. Like when I was hanging out with coaches who were charging $50 an hour, then I figured, well, my coaching's worth about $50 an hour. And now that I hang out with coaches that charge $100,000 a year, then I'm like, okay, my coaching's $100,000 a year. And so all of that's relative. So don't look at the marketplace to establish the value for what you sell. Instead, look to yourself to discover how confident am I in the value that I can deliver. Now, when I wasn't certain the value I could deliver to people, then my prices reflected that. Now that I know that people who work with me make over millions and millions of dollars a year, then it's easy for me to charge $100,000 a year. No one has a problem paying me 10% of what they make, and as a result of working with me. They would have made none of that without me. If they went out and made $1 million, of course they're glad to pay me $100,000 as a result of that. So it becomes a no-brainer, and your pricing becomes a no-brainer, but the pricing is set not because of the established market value. It's set because of the established known value within you that you know you can deliver to your people as a result of your combined human life value, your knowledge, your insights, your abilities, your skill sets, your resources, your connections, your platforms, your systems, your personnel. All the combination of everything that you bring to the table is the culmination of the value they receive, and as you see their results, then you will constantly raise your prices. So step 1, identify your passion. Step 2, identify your package, your product, which could be speaking, it could be teaching, it could be audio programs, it could be a home study course, it could be a video program with a workbook, it could be live coaching, it could be live trainings, it could be one-on-one in-person coaching, it could be one-on-one over the phone coaching, it could be live video trainings, it could be a brick and mortar business, it could be anything. People in my programs range everywhere from doctors to lawyers to nurses to real estate agents to real estate investors, you name it, all aspects, all different fields, and the principles are the same in every field. It's just the strategy or technique that's different. So identify your passion and purpose. Identify your packaging and pricing. Effectively market that or convey the message of what problem you solve. So if you take the context off of the word marketing and bring it to clear communication of the solution you bring to the marketplace, the solution you offer to someone's problem. That's all it is. All marketing is clear communication about the problem that you solve for somebody. The sales is the same thing, a powerful conversation showing somebody the problem that they're facing, the solution that's available, and how you solve their problem by providing your solution that overcomes their problem. That's all. And that's why it's so virtuous, is what would be more virtuous than going out and discovering people's problems and solving them and creating a win-win exchange where we all thrive, blessing each other's life. What's more virtuous than that? So step 1, identify your passion. Step 2, package and pricing. Step 3, effectively communicate the value that you provide. Step 4, effectively enroll people into solving that problem in their life. Step 5, under promise and over deliver. I may have even left a step out because I'm just doing this off of what I know inside of me. And then repeat the process. So now let me break it down again. Step 1, how do I discover my passion and purpose? I discover my passion and purpose by asking some key questions. So here's some of the key questions. What do I love doing so much that I would do it whether I got paid or not? And if you don't get all these written down, I'm going to move a little quicker. You can come back and watch the recording. So what would I do? What do I do that I love so much that I would do it whether I got paid or not? What would I love to do so much that I would never want to retire from it? What do I love to do so much that I lose track of time when I'm doing it? What do I love to do so much that I actually gain energy doing it? I feel more alive when I'm done doing it than when I started doing it. What did I most love to do as leisure activities when I was a child? What did I want to be when I grew up as a child? And what similar threads can I see? So as I look, maybe I wanted to be an astronaut and a pro football player and a Green Beret and a pro NBA player and the Karate Kid or whatever. You know, what were the similar threads in all of those? that line up, that are signs towards what my genius was, my genius ability, my passion, my purpose. What leisure activities do I love now that maybe I don't see how to make money doing them, but I would just do them. I just do them for fun, just because I love them. It just edifies me. Like, and I don't care what you think it is. You may think, oh, I couldn't get paid doing that. Bullshit. I don't care who you are, and I don't care what it is. There's a way to get paid for it. I've been in this game way too long to know or believe otherwise. So a few examples. There was a guy who loved golf, but he wasn't good enough to be a professional golfer. He was too old to ever get to that level, and whatever. He was never going to be a professional golfer or get paid to golf per se. Well, what did he do? He invented a little thing that was sold in stores as an item. It was like a golf bag with little golf clubs as a novelty item, and it took off, and he was making over $1 million a year selling a golf item while golfing, and had it all set up and automated, systematized. Took almost none of his time. Me, I love golf, and I've learned how to get paid golfing by taking other people who love golfing out golfing and coaching them how to empower their life through the golf process, because the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. So I take them out golfing, and I discover how they react to the golf game. So they hit a great shot, and they feel amazing, and they get too excited, and they upper limit, and then they screw up the next shot. And so I coach them through that and help them see the patterns, and they have big-ass life breakthroughs as a result of that. Then they go on this pattern of missing several shots, and they get all tied up and frustrated and self-abuse and all these other patterns that they do in their life. And I point that out to them and help coach them through that. And they leave there. We can do 9 or 18 holes. They leave there completely transformed while doing a golf game, and they had no idea all that shit was happening in their head. And I can sit and watch it plain as day, watch their body language, watch their energy, watch their emotion, and give them feedback and coach them through it, and their life is completely changed by us going out and golfing. And I had a blast in the process. So I don't care what you are passionate about that you think you can't make money at. I have coached thousands upon thousands of people through this. You can make money at whatever it is you're passionate about. All we get to do is discover what is it you're passionate about, and how does that meet a need in the marketplace. And then how do we deliver that through those steps that I explained, the marketing, the packaging, the pricing, the sales, and then the systems behind all of that. It's as simple as, it's as much of an art and a science as the gardener can grow a garden. The certainty of the farmer's market, that amazing farmer at the farmer's market who grows the best produce year in, year out, he knows exactly what the hell he's doing. And he can predict it with a certainty, exactly what he's going to do. He's been doing it that long, and he just does it. Well, the same thing for what I'm talking about. Your passion, your purpose, and your profitability. So what would you do that you would lose track of time when you do it, gain more energy, never want to retire from, do it whether you got paid or not, wanted to be it when you were a child or something similar? Because there's a lot of things that I wanted to be as a child. I wanted to be like special forces and all these things. Well, those are gone, and I don't want to kill people. And so now I still get to live that out by doing the Ironman and doing these other crazy, intense, insane things that, you know, later this year I'm going to do SEAL training. Why? Not because I'm going to become a Navy SEAL, because I'm just experiencing within myself what it means to be limitless, what it means to go beyond what I think my bounds are, what I think my limitations are. So those questions will help you discover your passion. And if you have further questions on that, post them in the group, in the Limitless Legion group. Post those questions and I will respond to those. But those questions I gave you are very empowering questions, and there's a lot more that can be done to help you hone in on your passion and purpose. Step 2, packaging and pricing. It's a process of its own. If you can model after other people's, look to what other people have done and model after them, that's a good place to start. But again, remember that it is that horizon. It's ever changing. Your passion stays the same, your genius abilities stay the same, but your purpose is ever changing. It's like the delivery mechanism, or it's kind of, what am I most called to do now? That's your purpose. Is like, what am I most inspired to do right now? So last year it might have been me facilitating this and this and this process in this way. This year maybe I'm moving in a new direction. So now more recently I'm offering the Badass Breakthrough Adventure series, which is this super powerful, amazing live events where we go to these exotic places. Our next one's in June. We're backpacking 10 miles into the Grand Canyon with 50 people. We're jumping off cliffs, and we're camping out, and we're eating together, and we're doing these fire processes and these water processes and these commitment processes and these psychological and relationship processes and all these powerful, amazing things. And people leave there super empowered. We have a bunch of people that just went through our Cancun experience, and we went down to Cancun and Playa del Carmen and had this jungle experience, this combo beach jungle experience, and people left there and they're making 10s and 20s and 50s of thousands of dollars and having these huge breakthroughs in their relationships, and it's phenomenal. Well, I didn't have that offering last year, and next year I might have something even better. So just allow it to expand and morph into the next greatest version of what it wants to look like as you move forward. Packaging and pricing. Maybe we ought to do a training on that sometime. So I'll consider that because it's quite in depth. In the meantime, just look to charging the most that you can charge and feel like you're worth it. Feel like what you're giving to them is worth more than what they're paying you for. Charge that much. And then know that you will limit that out based on your own self-worth. And so if you find yourself wishing you could charge more but not feeling worthy of it, get some coaching from somebody to help you move through your stories around that so that you can, I've had people double their prices in one coaching session. We just meet and they're like, oh, I could double my prices if I just cleared up this limiting belief. Boom, we cleared up, boom, 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 boom. They double their prices right there, and they double their income overnight. So that happens over and over and over again. So keep that in mind. What else is important on passion and purpose? Do you have any questions? Feel free to type them in to the side, and I will address those. I'm going to take a look at my notes and see if there's anything else I want to cover today. In the meantime, type in any questions that you have on what we've talked about so far, and I'll get to as many of those as I can. We are at 1 minute to the hour, so we're probably going to go about 10 minutes over today. Anyone who has to go, you can choose to watch the recording. Feel free to go whenever you choose to, but we will be going approximately 10 minutes over. And in the meantime, go ahead, type in your questions, and I will be glad to answer those. All right, Charlie, how do you get to the Badass Retreats? Are they available to public, or is it already decided? Great question, Charlie. So Badass Retreats are invitation only, but you feel free to private message me on Facebook about that. We can have a conversation. There's a financial investment, there's a time investment. Usually it's about a week-long commitment. The Badass Retreat in Havasupai will be a week-long. We'll hike in one day, get set up. We'll do 5 days of tremendous breakthrough work. Those are the deepest, most powerful events on the planet. And then we'll backpack back out, and even the backpack in and out is part of the process too. We'll travel back home, but it'll take about 7 days total. And then there will be just the financial investment, and then we just got to make sure you're a fit. You've got to be physically capable. You've got to just a second, got something ringing in my ear. There we go. You've got to be physically capable. You've got to be mentally and emotionally committed. You've got to be at a level that just is going to be a fit. So anyone who wants to go to that level and really dive all in and get the biggest up-leveling of your life in the shortest amount of time, private messaging me. We can talk about that separately. So any more questions that you have, feel free to post in the group. Let me leave you with what my commitment to you is. It's along the lines of what we discussed on why I'm here and how that ties to your passion and purpose and why you're here and how we're going to make the contribution in the world, and then what I would like from you in exchange for all of this. So what you can expect from me is that I will show up here every Tuesday and give you 100%. I will show up and I will deliver every single Tuesday, and I will give you the best content from the heart, raw, real, relevant, that is most impactful for your life and most relevant to you creating the best life possible. I will show you the things that I've learned along the way that have helped me to create a life that is ever more limitless and expanding infinitely and always will be. The things that help me get past my mental and emotional barriers and blocks that stop me from completely fulfilling my passion and purpose in the world, that will assist you to do the same. I still got them. If you're alive, you've got them. If you're not some ascended master, you've got them. I don't give a shit what level of the game you're at. There is more, for me included. That's why I have my mentors. It's just my mentors are way the hell more expensive than yours are. So, no matter how much you up level, there's something greater and something greater and something greater forever. And it is such a tremendous journey. So here's the deal. I want to reach as many people as possible. I want to continue to expand as much as possible. I choose to influence and impact and liberate as many people as possible. I choose to free every people on all levels. So the people who don't see the capacity they have to afford my services now, this service will reach them because it's free. For the people who want to join my paid programs, those will bless them even more deeply because we have so many other things involved, accountability and a members area and live interactive forums with high-level producers and accountability and breakthrough coaching and all this other stuff we add in that just is phenomenal, and those people get huge results. My one-on-one clients get a whole new level, my live events, whole new level, like there's all these different things. So it's, for me, about blessing people at all levels, the free, the cheap, the medium high, the high, and the ultra high. It's meeting people where they're at, allowing myself to live a prosperous life while also having a heart and giving a shit truly about the world rather than just money and rather than just the rich people, but serving everybody and making the deepest impact, because I'm not just a guy who was born rich and is out there, that A-type personality who's like, I'm just going to make as much money as I can from all the rich people. I'm a guy who was the underdog, who dug from the trenches, who rose from the ashes from effing nothing and created the life of my dreams and continued to expand further and further into that. And I'm so passionate about helping myself and others to be the greatest version of myself that I'm not just interested in helping people at that high level. I'm interested in helping as many people as possible at every level. And I just give more at the higher levels, and I add more and more tools and teams and resources and stuff that create more and more value as we climb up the ladder. So many of you will choose to move on into my paid groups, and you will advance up through the ranks to higher and higher levels, and we will rise up to the highest peaks together. And some of you never will. Some of you will leave and say, that guy's a lunatic. Some of you will judge me and say, he didn't cover the shit I wanted him to cover, and he wants to sell shit, and he's talking about his shit, and you'll leave, and that'll be fine. And some of you will just pay attention and follow me for a long time, and you'll slowly get little tidbits and break through slowly, and eventually after a certain time something will click and you will go vertical and hit big ass results, and they'll be amazing. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you're at on the journey. I don't care when you take off. All I want to do is serve everybody, and those who are ready will click when they're ready, and some of you are meant to come to deeper levels with me, and some of you aren't, and that's fine. So here's what I ask of you. What I'm committing to you, I will give you 100%, and I will rock your fucking world. I will give you the best content on the planet, and I will teach you real life shit that isn't, you know, one of the things a lot of coaches out there do is they go and study. A lot of A-type personalities go out and they hear something once from somebody and they're like, I can sell this shit, and they turn around and sell it as if they're an expert. I've been in the trenches for a long ass time, and this is stuff that I've lived. I didn't go from 260 to 190 rocking it by chance or by a magic pill. I fucking dug in the trenches for decades. I know that journey. I didn't go from amazing relationships to amazing relationships. I went from shit-ass relationships, every one of them failed, to amazing relationships, digging through the trenches and overcoming it myself. So do I have certifications galore? Yes. But what really certifies me is having accomplished those things personally. I take a 4-part approach: health, relationships, finances, spirituality. All those combined can create an invincible combo. So wherever you're at in that, use all of those. Approach your life from all of those angles. Now here's what I ask from you. I'm going to show up and deliver this stuff. I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it with passion and purpose, and I'm going to share with you real life insights, not just shit I read from a book. Stuff I have applied in my life and gained the results from. I'm going to give it to you. No charge. And I'm going to trust the reciprocation process, that you will go out and bless others, that it will empower you, that some of you will move on, and that we're all going to kick ass in the process. Now, what I ask from you is to share this. Share the group, share the message, reach out to your people. My intention is to create tens of thousands of people that receive these gifts. My intention is that we have a massive movement that joins Limitless Legion, and that the right people will funnel to the right places and be led and guided to the most empowering things that will bless the world in the biggest way possible. That each one of you will shine in the biggest ways possible. That you will fulfill your purpose, your passion. That you will, when complete with this life, you will have sung your song fully. You will have fully expressed yourself, and lying on your deathbed, you will say, that was amazing. I'm so grateful. I want to be that when I die, that the world feels it. That the world says, holy shit, we just lost a Gandhi. We just lost a Mother Teresa. We just lost an amazing person who impacted millions upon millions upon people, millions of people's lives, and completely transformed the world and raised the vibration and frequency and consciousness of the planet in ways unfathomable. Not because I did it alone, but because you and I did it. But because what I chose to do with me and continue to choose to do with me rubs off on you and influences you and helps fill in the blanks, not because I'm greater than anybody, but because we're all effing great. Because you're just as great as I am. And that the biggest influence I make is by helping you be in the greatest version of yourself, and by you doing that, everyone in your world up levels in ways unimaginable, and that is the influence. And that through you sharing and reaching out and inviting your loved ones and your environment to join us here, that you support me and you give back to me. You give back to your loved ones. You support your success by having your loved ones up level with you. You support your success by having the frequency of the planet up level more and more easily, so that you're not dragging all the deadbeats, because you're bringing as many people as possible with you so that we're not carrying that dead weight. It blesses all of us in ways unimaginable to be on this journey together. So guys, reach out. Invite your friends, your family, your loved ones to participate in this group. If they don't contribute and they have a bad attitude and they're negative, we'll just block them. But if they show up and they participate and they receive huge value, all the better for all of us. So invite everyone you can think of on a regular, ongoing basis as we continue through this journey. And let's together create a group that has tens of thousands of members that can come in here at all levels, whether they're wealthy or whether they're just struggling to pay the bills and get by. I have one woman who's a part of this group who is homeless in Utah, and I've been messaging her and coaching her and supporting her to not commit suicide and to get the shit handled and to move forward. This shit's real, people. Reach out to your loved ones, I don't care what level they're at, and get them here so that we can impact them and share these things that really matter, the things that have not been taught in our schools. We haven't been taught shit about the things that are what we're most struggling with. Where did they teach us about relationships and communication skills and listening and the art of looping and listening with empathy and the art of the toss and all these other things that you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about yet? Because we haven't got there yet. Where did they learn? All they learned was how to relate the way their parents related and what they saw on TV. So get them here so we can up-level their relationships. Get them here so we can up-level their confidence and certainty. Get them here so we can teach them the skill sets and mindsets to be prosperous. Speaking of, on the topic of passion and purpose, and I get crazy and go off on a million tangents, but passion and purpose, here's what's so important about this, guys. If everyone were doing what they loved, we would have world peace. If everyone in the world were doing what they loved, we would have world peace. Because instead of coming home and bitching about how miserable your day was, you come home and brag about how fucking amazing it was to do what you do and have so much fun doing it and bless people so deeply and to be so prosperous in the process. How can you be miserable doing that? Why would you want to attack anybody doing that? And then instead of demonstrating that attack and blame and mom and dad saying, well, no, you thought your day was miserable, you have no idea. Look how hard my day was. And that's what the kids see is war within the home. The kids see peace and prosperity and joy and fulfillment and passion. And in one generation, the whole fucking problem's solved. And we approach it from another angle. If all we did was teach an entire generation how to meditate, within one generation we would have world peace. If all we did was get the world here to this group and we taught every one of them how to meditate and how to do what they love, boom, world peace. Everyone living prosperously in a way that's sustainable, aligned with Mother Earth, aligned with ourselves, aligned with each other in a way that is truly fulfilling rather than filling the void or trying to endlessly fill the void with meaningless material shit that somehow never meets the need. So here's the other things I want from you. So reach out and share. Let's get as many members as possible. And I want you to know, keep a list of all the people you invite, their names and how many there are. There's going to be some incentives and some fun games and some fun stuff. We're going to play with that. So think of all your people and keep a list of everyone that you invite and keep a running tally on that because we're going to do some fun stuff with it. So now, the other things that I request from you, show up. Show up in that group and make Limitless Legion the most valuable Facebook group in the world. Show up by adding value, being authentic, being real, being transparent, asking for help, offering help, giving resources. Think of how much value can I provide to this group? Not just what can I get, what can I give? How can I serve the other members of this group so that this becomes the most valuable place around? That we love coming here, that it's just a wealth of knowledge and resources and connections. Holy cow, just the associations alone is priceless, let alone the content and information. So show up and provide value. Do the work. Guys, the best way you can honor these teachings in this process is to apply it and get big-ass results in your life. If you just hear concepts and don't do anything with it, you're not helping. You're not helping yourself. You're not making a difference. So go out and do the work. Apply it. Make it count. Create intangible and tangible results in your life that you can brag about, that inspire others, rather than just the guy or gal who's speaking passionately about something but not modeling results. Go model the results so that people will automatically want to follow you. It's contagious. The next thing I request of you is that you make the community a safe place. There are two pillars that I found that are the most important pillars for me in my whole world. One is unconditional love, and the second one is impeccable integrity. The safety and value of this container, of this group, Limitless Legion, it will boil down to those two things. Can we create a space of unconditional love where people are safe to be messy, to be authentic and vulnerable, and to not be judged, to be real and to be loved as they are, so that they can be seen as who they really are and expand into the next greatest version of themselves, instead of continuing to show up in our bullshit masks and personas, worried about how we're going to look and what's okay. Let's just show up real and authentic. Let's be the most real, authentic, transparent, safe group available anywhere. That's what I'm asking of you. I'm asking you to engage. I'm asking you to reach out to people. I'm asking you to be producers, not consumers, meaning you produce, you provide more value than you receive in all of your interactions in life. And share the message. Bring the people. Let's grow this together. It will serve me, it will serve you, it will serve them, it will serve the world. My final invitation and homework assignment is around your passion and purpose. Post a video within this group. Not publicly, but in the group. On the Facebook group. Post a video about your passion and purpose. What do you know about it so far? What are your questions? Where are you stuck? So that we can connect with. Make the video short so that everyone's not overloaded watching 5-10 minute videos. Make it as short as you can. Really distill it. Why are you on this planet? Why the fuck are you here? It's not to pay the bills. It's not to be on a hamster wheel. It has nothing to do with status quo. It has nothing to do with being liked by others. Why are you here? Why are you here? And if you don't fully know, post what you do know, and then admit what you don't know, and ask for help with what you want to clarify on. This will do a couple of things. It's going to help you to be able to start claiming your voice. Because back in the day, I used to be incredibly intimidated. I would not be on this video call. I would not be on Facebook promoting shit. I would not do sales. I would not do marketing. I just wanted to be the quiet guy sitting in the back of the room that no one was looking at. You might not guess that now because I can be kind of a loudmouth at times, but that was me. And people are more scared of public speaking than death. And the only reason why is because they're scared of failure, they're scared of rejection, they're scared that if too many people reject them, they will reject themselves and they will kill themselves. That's like a long path back. If you track the psychology, that's what it leads to. But if you will start to get comfortable in our safe environment, in our safe group, to comment and post and quit hanging out in the background on the bench and to get in the game instead of just observing the game. Post the videos and stretch yourself and continue to stretch yourself continuously in the group to get more and more comfortable and continuously expand your comfort zone so that you are comfortable doing anything, being a total idiot, and being late and screwing shit up and having people judge you and looking like an idiot and being on video and commenting and being authentic and real and crying and laughing and being silly and being whatever, being everything. Because you're all of it. If you spot it, you got it. All the greatness you've ever seen in anybody is in you. And all the smallness you've ever seen in anybody is in you. And everything you judge about everybody is in you. All the goodness you judge about others is in you. If you judge someone to be beautiful, you're beautiful. If you judge people to be powerful, you're powerful. If you judge people to be strong and courageous, you've got that same courage. You couldn't see it if it wasn't in you. If you judge someone to be weak, there's somewhere in you that's weak. If you judge people to be mean, there's something in you that's mean that you're not okay with. If you spot it, you've got it. And the more you can get okay with all parts of you and learn to express yourself fully and totally liberate yourself and give up the addiction of being approved and liked and just getting in the group, post your videos, post value. Now, do not be mistaken. You start getting on here and trying to sell this, sell that, sell the other. This is not a group where we're going to get on and sell shit. This is not a group where we sit and try to sell each other everything. This is a group where we provide value for the sake of providing value. But get on there and stretch yourself. So the stretch this week is post a video. I don't care if you're watching this live or if you're watching the recording. If you're a part of this group, get off the bench, get in the game, post a video so we can begin to connect with each other, get to know each other, and get to know how to best support each other. Let us know, why are you here? Keep it less than a minute if possible. Why are you here? What's your passion? You know, something around your passion. What's your passion? Why are you here? And then if you have any quick questions about it, about clarification or anything to help you move forward with your passion, let those fly, and then give each other feedback. If you have some insights and you can help someone move through something, get in there and give them feedback. Help them move through it so that we're all taking 100% responsibility for the group moving upward and onward together. Not just, oh, deliver us. I'm not your savior. I'm not saving anybody. I used to think I could save people. I'm not here to save you. I'm here to offer gifts and blessings and things that I've received. It's up to you to take those and apply those. And I invite each one of you to take 100% responsibility for the value of this group, for the experience in this group, for the safety of the container of this group, for the love and the safety and the integrity of the group. So if you're there, I can't see you, but in your mind and whatever, and maybe right now out loud, if you're willing to commit to these things, just raise your hand and say, I commit to showing up 100%, being a producer, providing massive value, participating 100%, getting other people involved, and spreading the word and the message and helping as many people as possible and stretching myself continuously as part of this. And then if you're not willing to do that, then probably just go, let me know and we'll remove you from the group. Aside from that, thank you for your time. Create an amazing day. I look forward to seeing you on the group. We will talk soon, and have an amazing week. See you on the boards, and I'll see you next week.